Good morning and welcome again to our daily devotion. We've been teaching on the faith dialect, the means of communication, the how of communication that is faith-based, which we saw in Jesus, the consistency of communication, which was a reflection of his origin, where he came from. And it was meant to encourage us, because how you speak, what you say does reflect where you come from, does capture your mind. And there's a language of the citizens of heaven. That's what the Bible called us. It says, yea, we are a holy nation, a peculiar people, God's own people. Bible said that we are the city of the heavenly Jerusalem. Jesus saw death as sleep, and he spoke in that light. That was what was in his mind when he saw someone die. Jesus thought they were sleeping. We saw two examples in Mark chapter 5, verse 39, and in John chapter 11, verse 11. He reflected that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 33. Isaiah chapter 33. And verse 24. It says, and the inhabitants shall not say, I am sick. The people that dwell therein shall be forgiven their iniquity. Now, Bible says, for God will save us. If you read that in verse 22, and it's talking about what will happen when the Lord comes to save his people, when God is, in a sense, the one in authority, the one that fills the place, the one that has the rescuing power among his people. He said, the inhabitants shall not say that they are sick. It means it will become a profession, to become a confession, it will become a declaration, a common knowledge. And this is what I'm sharing, that we who dwell in God's city, God told Abraham, I'm taking you to a city whose maker, whose builder is God. And when you begin to journey into that city, when you come into that place where God is your all in all, one of the things you don't say is that you are sick. It's a faith confession, because the Bible says, for by his stripes we were healed. You can be healed and sick at the same time. Now, I know that the sickness that people often talk about is the natural one, and the healing is God's provision. And that is where the question or the challenge is. Do you declare God's provision of healing? Or do you declare the presence of the natural sickness? Now we see Jesus here, who lived in the Spirit. The Bible said that if we that we should walk in the Spirit. We should walk in the Spirit. As you have received Christ, so walk ye in him. That's walk in his pattern. And we see Jesus call those things that we will call death as sleep, because that was his perspective, that was his expectation. So I want to encourage you in the same way to declare God's provision, to speak. Let your language be colored, be influenced. Let your language be motivated by faith. Maintain the dialect of faith. Choose to speak your healing. Choose to say, oh, I may feel sick, but I thank God because I am healed. I may not see the provision, or I may not see money in my account, but I thank God because I have everything I need at the right time, because God is my supply. Speak the dialect of faith. In the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. It says here, let us hold fast the profession of our faith, the confession of our faith, the declaration of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promise. So the Bible says we should hold fast our profession without wavering. Keep speaking that which you believe. Keep speaking faith words. I shared with you recently how you should hold on to the revelation of the Lord, the prophecy, the word of prophecy. As someone that is holding on to a little light in the night time. A little light may not show you everything there is to see like the day, but it will show you just little enough to take the next step. Hold on to it until the day dawns in our hearts. So I want to encourage you with these words. Hold on to your faith profession and keep speaking the dialect of faith. I hope to keep sharing a bit more on this by God's grace tomorrow. You have a wonderful and fruitful day ahead.